So I'll read this one called How You Come For Us. It's in two parts. Like a gargoyle flying right off the cathedral at evening, or spilling across the book of life, vines moving, gilded past margins, across the worms of books. It came from my father. He took it with talons strong as the jaws of an attack dog, a mighty strike and suffocation. You're not a smiler. You don't need to be liked. You watch and feed. You came from my father, and you will come from me. You came twice from my mother, 3 times from my grandmother, walked her through the streets pinioned with a star, took her husband and her son in the space of a summer day. Now one eye always checks the sky. But it was not you that did these things. I freed you from the foolishness of history, from gargoyles, the New Age tarot, the comparisons with archangels, war, religion, and I free you from Athena, Merlin, Aesop, Bosch, Harry Potter, and Carl Jung. Free you from all signs and apparitions, full moons, graveyards, witches, Halloweens and hexes, fears of night, fears of the forest. Number 13, devils. Free you from bad luck, good luck, portents of death, shamanic feathers, just your gaze, unredeemed. Free you from guardianship, from curse, from your bones in my soup, from human stories, human souls. But I cannot free you from beauty, or how you come for us. So I will read, I don't know, 3 or 4 more. Is that possible? It's not. I want to be careful with the time. This is one I don't always, well, no, I'll read this one here. So this is called I Come Across You Sleeping, which is a terrific experience. You've probably had it before in the daytime. I come across you sleeping mid-morning, across the creek only 10 feet up a redwood at the crook of a branch just near the trunk. Neck tucked in, I think I see white facial markings and V-tufts, even though you are utterly still. So for the longest time, I can't be sure you're there. I want to see you. So I have to weigh the possibility that you are a trick of the fancy, tucked away behind dead branches. Then, when I've given up hope of being sure, you move, and it's you, a cat with wings. When you turn later and face away, the feathers of your back camouflage against the redwood bark. And I can see why you chose this place. But roosted facing outward across the creek, your outline is clear, and your mottled gray-brown head and feathery texture. Preen, fluff, brown creepers, and ground squirrels appear nearby unafraid in the dappled canyon shade. They somehow know you are resting, sated. Do you guard a nest just out of sight? I sit on the knuckle of a giant root in that intimacy. I don't seem to bother you, so I sit still in my own thoughts, as if I finally found my church. Just off a well-used trail. People walk by, dogs come up and sniff. But I'm lost in meditation and in you. In a sense, what could be farther away? You were as far away as the stones I set on my father's grave, as if he were underwater right here. as if the stones were a world we shared, as if we could touch in the stones. This is called Blues in Slow Swing. It has an epigraph. Hoot owl calling in the ghosted air, 5 times calling to the haunts in the air. Robert Hayden, Runagate, Runagate. So, for this one, I think the music of great horned owls haunts as if it carries the swung rhythm and wisdom of 60 million years. I think of it as a swung rhythm, the way owls talk. I play some swing, blues and stuff. They sing a kind of ancient blues, mother of all swing and jazz. So there's so much new world music. So this is called Blues in Slow Swing. And then I guess I'll just read one more. A whole lot going on across just a few bars. Stump like an auction block, dark wood like a middle passage. When you call, it's swung like a Charleston, but I think 2 or 3 lifetimes before the beat. Pick up the feet, it's Jim Crow. One more time, it's the Great Migration. It's call and response. My father may be alive, only the dogs know where he went. There's swing in the slowest realms, realm of whale cries and plate tectonics and ancestors who would have lived full lives had they been so lucky. Realms where time slows down, the roaring 20s and the Great Depression. You, the great horns, sing, and the other you answers over a patch of land as big as a lifetime, forest acres vast as generations. Tonight, a freight whistle slides on by, swung blues, many thousands gone. They say Harriet Tubman spoke out. To keep us alive, she had to know rivers better than anyone, and birds. Okay, should I do 1 or 2? You brought? Okay, he says 2, so you're stuck with me. Because I know I'm right at my spot where I'm supposed to stop. But the open mic finished a little early, so I don't like to go home. So maybe Dave will get mad at me. This is, there was a divorce in my life. This is called You Mate for Life. Out on your usual spindly redwood branch, suspended like a fishing pole in the August sunset above the dry grass. You are a fisherman, hook, and line. You are patience, tool, and craft. You mate for life. Sometimes, rarely, if no chicks, you'll fight. Maybe after 5 years, you'll kick them out for good. A serious reason. Something years in the making. Something bigger than either of you. I heard talons the day I left. Rabbit 1 minute, meat the next. Carried along into this new home. Dusk dense with stars and the roar of crickets. There are mouths to feed. Later, invisible, your names on each other's tongues. You sing a step higher, your 4 calls overlap, his 5, you are close. You could be anywhere. I hear you from my bed, like memory. I'll read one more that's called Owl and Bean. So, I have a grandchild in my life. He's now 20 months old. I was with her this morning. Emergency babysitting at 6:15 a.m. So anyway. Owl and Bean. And I also want to thank you for your attention. I feel like this is a beautiful audience. Really, listening. I'm grateful to all of you. Owl and Bean. Deep forest, evening, early spring, uphill, rounding the switchback. You call nearby, low, maybe 25 feet off the ground, visible on a redwood branch, out to feed more than just yourself. 4 calls with the full force of your smaller male body. Between long silences, you speak. Minutes pass. When you take off, you glide so close, then on into the deeper woods below. My mouth forms an O, draws a full intake of breath. I held a lungful of air and awe. I'm supposed to be home. Dusk has finished filtering down the woods. I look at the time. There's a message on the phone from my son. A little child named Bean is in the womb, well, the size of a bean. They've waited so long. But today the doctor couldn't hear her heart. So they were concerned. Even went right away to a specialist to see if Bean was at 6 weeks or 7 weeks. It made a big difference. Most of the day they thought maybe they lost her. Then the second doctor said to wait a while. She's likely okay in there. She's just not the fetal age we thought she was. Early next morning, you, the female, are nearest, grand and healthy feathers fluffed. We've come close to call, resonant through your body's instrument. The chill canyon, the smitten labyrinth of the ears. You announce day the way your mate signaled night. The morning's movements overlap. Your greeting and farewell among sparrows, waking excitedly in misty light. You move outward and away, but also inward through the conch into the imagination. What am I without you? Just last night, standing only a few feet up the trail, there you were. I reached into a pocket for the phone and called my son. What could I say? Now I have seen you, heard you twice, at dusk, dawn, and this morning I fly through the meadow, saying, Bean, Bean, Bean.